it's Pina from Fashion Justice. I have not been on my channel for the last number of weeks. Obviously, it's been a trying time for everybody and really difficult for me to come here and talk about fashion and beauty, which are my passions. But the other thing, if you don't know me, one of the things that I'm very passionate about is helping people, and I love self-improvement, and I love seeing people grow, and I know that we are limitless and that we inside of us all have so much more power than we are aware of and that we give ourselves credit for. And I want to, on my channel, through a series of videos, just help you navigate through these really trying times. We will get through this. It's not easy, but there are simple things that we can do to get through the other side. And we have the power within us to get through this. So I think the first thing that we need to keep in mind is, first of all, have perspective. But we need to consider this situation that we're going through right now, which is just all craziness all over the world. We need to just sort of view this as any other challenge that you have undergone in your life. Now, the longer you have lived, the more challenges you have seen and experienced in a lifetime. But each and every one of us has experienced at some point in our lives loss, pain, suffering. We've all gone through it. And one thing we know is when we're in that moment, we think that we are not going to be able to get through on the other side. But guess what? We have always managed to get through on the other side of pain. So how do we get through a pandemic? There's no book that's been written on that. There are a lot of self-help books out there, but nothing on how to actually get through isolation and a crazy pandemic in 2020. So the first thing that you need to keep in mind is just remember all those challenges in your life that you have experienced. And the longer you've lived, the more challenges you have encountered. But we've all gone through trying times in our lives. We've all gone through pain, suffering, and experienced loss at some point. And if you think back to how painful that was at the time you were experiencing it, you probably felt that you were never going to be able to wake up the next day and live your life again. But guess what? You did. And so what I would challenge you to do is think of this situation like any other challenge that you have experienced in your life. So you got through your challenges in the past before using your coping skills, and somehow you made it through. So the good news is that you do have coping skills. You've experienced heartache and pain, and you've somehow managed to get through, even though you thought that you at some point were probably going to die. But you did it, and you can do it again. And the thing that you have to keep in mind here is that you're not alone. So when you typically go through a loss, you lose your job, you lose your partner, you lose something that's very dear and near to you, you usually go through that alone. And somehow the world around you is just, it continues moving forward while you're in your misery and in your pain and you're trying to move on. But guess what? The whole world is experiencing the exact same issue that you are experiencing right now, albeit everybody has different types of challenges right now, but you're definitely not alone. So the one thing that is going to help you get through this is drawing upon the strength of your past challenges, and that's going to give you the faith and the encouragement and the belief that you've gone through something and come out on the other side before, and you will do it again. We will all do it again. So drawing upon that strength is so important at this time. So remember how you were fearful, remember how everything was so uncertain and unclear, but yet somehow you did make it through. And the same thing holds true of this situation. This pandemic is something you just need to consider as any other challenge in your life, albeit on a much greater scale. But if you take the perspective that you need to just embrace it and wrap your arms around it the way you have everything else that you've experienced in the past, it's just going to make it a lot easier for you to be able to move forward and navigate and just deal with this every single day. And like any other traumatic experience in our lives, we go through different phases. And so the first phase of this pandemic was pure shock. And I think that we've passed that stage, although I think that there are days where you will come in and out of, is this really happening? And so you kind of will get like little shock waves through your system. And I think that's normal. But the big shock of what's been going on, I think, is behind us now. And the second stage is just anger, bitterness, fear. And I think we are all coping with that on a daily basis. And we come in and out of that. But the third stage is acceptance. And I think that a lot of us now are at the acceptance stage where this is the situation we've been handed. And the best that we can do at this point is navigate our way through the situation that we're dealt with and learn how to make the best of it. So if you are ready to embrace the situation, because let's face it, it's the only thing that is right now within our control. So if you can wrap your hands around it, wrap your arms around this craziness and this isolation that we are in right now, then it makes it a lot easier for us to just decide that we are going to do our best to deal with every single day. So absolutely make the best use of the time that you are given. You know, we always complain that we never have time for our family, our friends, or to do anything. And guess what? Now we have the luxury of this time, albeit in trying circumstances, but think of it as a precious gift, and it is time that we are never going to get back. So you want to be able to look back on this experience and think that it was a time that made you stronger, just like any other challenge that you go through in life. You now look back at those times in your life when you didn't think you were ever going to make it, and you realize that those experiences shaped the person that you are today. And so what a gift to be able to look back at this time at some point in the future and realize the same thing, that had it not been for this period of time and this craziness that you're living, it wouldn't have made you the person that you are today. So think about embracing this and just look at this as any other challenge that you have experienced in your life. It's just going to make it that much easier to get through to the end and then come out on the other side better and stronger than ever. And another thing you can do on those days where you maybe wake up and are feeling a little bit wobbly, I know for myself, there are days where I feel great, and then there are days where I feel that I am really not feeling very grounded at all. And the one thing that really helps is taking the focus off of yourself. That helps you relieve your anxiety. I mean, there's a bunch of things you can do, but a really quick, easy thing is just doing something for somebody else. Picking up the phone and calling somebody and knowing that that's going to go a long way to making them feel better. So just take the thought, take the pressure off of yourself if you're feeling heaviness or anxiety, and just do something for somebody else, and it's going to go a long way to making you feel so much better. So I hope that helps you a little bit. I'm going to be back here next week with some more tips and tricks to help you navigate through these crazy, unprecedented times. We will get through it. You will be fine. We've been through craziness before, maybe not like this, but we're going to get through it. We will all do this together, and make sure that every day you wash your face, take care of yourself on the outside as well, because that is so important to help you get through these crazy times. So look and feel your best all the time. That helps as well. And I will see you here next week, if not sooner. Thank you for watching, and stay safe, stay strong, stay fabulous. I will see you next week.